Welcome to the .locker room, where there's no scripts, just real talk about domains, digital identity, Web3, and everything going on in our space. Today we're going to be talking about ICANN's role in all of this, and we're going to break down a couple of solutions that you've probably seen on the market. My name's Bailey Comyns. I'm head of marketing at Orange Domains, the registry operator for .locker, and with me today is Don Ruiz, the general manager of Orange Domains. So hi Don, how are you today?
Very good, Bailey. How are you?
I'm great. Our last video got a lot of views, a really great response. So I think we're filling in a gap, a knowledge gap that a lot of people have.
Yeah, that's great. This has been a learning experience for us.
Yes.
This is our second video that we're doing. And we're
Yes.
going to get better as we go along, but we were pleased with how the first one turned out. There's always room for improvement, of course, but I like the topics that we're kind of digging into. I think that obviously with people viewing the video, it shows that there is a need out there to fill a knowledge gap.
Yeah.
And hopefully with our experience, both on the Web2 and Web3 side, we can help do that. Even if it's just a little bit, just to help people a little bit, anything that we could do is important.
Yeah, the knowledge is kind of spread out everywhere. So I think it's good to kind of bring it all into one spot and have a good discussion about it. And I think one thing a lot of people are wondering about is, where does ICANN stand in all of this? What's ICANN's role? How do they, play into Web3, or should they even be involved in the Web3 side of things? And I know these are discussions that you've been having a lot with, a lot of your counterparts and
Yeah.
colleagues. So do you want to maybe share what you've been talking about and what the sentiment is there?
Yeah, I mean, we went to market and we brought our solution Locker to market in October 2024. And we were vetted, I guess, by ICANN. We met with ICANN personnel in the office of CTO
Mm.
and whatnot in our process of the solution we were bringing forward to map Web2 domain names to Web3 digital identities. A lot of has happened since then.
Yeah.
More solutions are coming onto the marketplace, which we'll talk about a few of those in a few moments. But for ICANN themselves, it's now been raised at ICANN. At the last ICANN meeting in Dublin, Michael Pelage, who's a well-known figure in the domains industry, and particularly at ICANN, he raised this particular topic with the ICANN board in public comment about ICANN and what their position is and getting more involved in being part of a solution or guidelines or potentially an RCEP
Mm.
for solutions that are coming to market that map Web2 domain names to Web3 digital identities. So at this point, ICANN hasn't said what their position is. There hasn't been, as far as I know, a formal application or submission of a policy to ICANN. We know that it takes time
Yeah.
there, but there's lots of, as technology changes and ICANN keeps up with it, with AI and Web3, of course, which is, as we see it, as just another part of the internet, which is built on Web2,
Mm-hmm.
which is an extension of it. And it's a new area that is becoming more mainstream, is built on a different infrastructure, of course, with blockchains. And mapping domain names to Web3 digital identities, ICANN has some choices, I guess, to make over the next few months or even years around whether they stay in their lane and stick to the DNS, which are
Mm-hmm.
things that they have
Mm-hmm.
built in, the 25 plus years have built the security and reliability and resilience of the domain name system, which is what is transacted on today,
Yeah.
for the most part. And this is how the world runs. And they've done an incredible job with that. Now with blockchain becoming more mainstream, even though the first blockchain was introduced in 2009. It's been taking a while, of course, but as we kind of move into that, ICANN are taking a closer look at what that means for the DNS.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so at this point, they haven't, publicly came out and kind of said exactly what their position is.
Yeah.
But there are groups who are pushing ICANN to kind of have a voice in and take a position on these solutions or some guidelines moving forward. So we'll see where that goes. I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen anything on the schedule yet for Mumbai ICANN, which is coming up in March. I believe of what I've been hearing is it'll probably be more of a discussion point at the Contracted Parties Summit in Manchester in
Sure.
May.
Yeah.
We'll probably be at both. We're trying to figure those pieces out, and we, given our experience and being, we have over 25,000 domains registered now, and we have a solution in place. We'll be part of those conversations, or continue to be part of those conversations for sure, and update people along the way as more information comes to light.
Yeah, and I think this is very timely as the new TLD applications are opening up, and we are going to see a lot of Web3 domains kind of applying for ICANN accreditation and to operate on DNS. And what we're doing here at .locker and Orange Domains is we are anchoring .locker to DNS so people can operate their Web3 digital identity, but still have the security and reliability and resilience of DNS. So it's kind of reflecting our belief on how the internet is converging Web2 and Web3 into one world, and Web3 users can tap into the best of Web2 while still getting their decentralization and ownership and all those principles that Web3 is built upon. So,
Yeah, exactly. And, we built .locker initially as a prototype, and we have decided, after talking to some registry groups and whatnot, to white label it as well now. So we have our minting as a service, which is a white label version of .locker, which will hopefully play a role in the next round of TLDs that are coming to market, as you mentioned, and this kind of backs into ICANN and their position on, the solutions that are coming to market, and if there's any guidelines by them. But hopefully it all kind of fits in place, and we'll see where that kind of goes over the next few months. But to your point, it is very timely that we're having these discussions now with the new TLDs coming to market.
Yeah, yeah, and we're seeing solutions hit the market. Of course, we have one out there. One that has caught our eye is Alldomains.id. They're minting .com domains on Solana,
Right.
which is very interesting. Solana is a very popular chain, but they're doing it differently than we're doing it, from what I understand when we're digging into the documentation.
Yeah, there's more for us to learn, of course. And from what we've learned so far, it seems like, from the documentation anyway, that when you register a domain name, they actually change the registrant email or the registrant contact information to reflect their own. I guess it would be so that they could have control over the domain name to make changes that would be in line with the Web3 digital identity piece.
Yeah.
Would be my guess. I'm not 100% sure on that. So that's something that I'm not quite sure where ICANN will position themselves on that with respect to changing contact information to manage a Web3 portion. It could be totally fine. It's just something that we noticed.
Yeah.
That's a big difference from how we do it. Of course, we don't touch any of that information, of course. And a user can use their domain name any way they like, and they can even transfer it to another registrar if they want. So
Yeah.
that's a little different from how we do it. And the other thing too with them is, they are offering .com, but it's my understanding that VeriSign isn't involved as a partnership with them.
I didn't see anything that indicated that.
Right, which again, there's room in the marketplace for all kinds of different prototypes
Absolutely.
and solutions, and we're going to figure this all out together, and we're happy to see some of these come to market. We're just wanted to. It's different from us. We kind of work with registries, of course. We want to make sure that all the stakeholders are kind of part of a solution. They're focusing on the end users, which there's a market for, of course, and any users that want to bring their .com to Web3, they can, through an all domains type of solution. The others may pop up though, right? With .com I don't think it'll be just one. Others may try to do the same thing. You can even, I believe, do the same thing on Solana in a different account, but that's we're talking to Solana, as you know. We mint on the BNS. We bridge to ENS and the Ethereum. We're talking to Solana as well as bridging .locker over there, but we want to make sure that we have full control of those namespaces to avoid any of those
Exactly.
collisions and stuff as well.
Yeah, name collision is definitely a concern a lot
Yeah.
of people have on Web3. And so, you know, we have to kind of keep some organization when it comes to namespaces on Web3, as we learned on Web2.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Learned very
Yeah, that's
quickly.
right. Mm. And then
Another
another one,
one, oh, go ahead.
yeah. No, I was just going to say, like when you mentioned that, D3 is another one
Stole
that
my
we should
words.
probably talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're one that they've been, marketing their solution now for a while, and they brought it to market recently. They build, I believe, their naming system is built on Avalanche blockchain, which is again different from what we're
Very
doing,
different.
and their focus is different too. Now I know that things have kind of pivoted and changed a little bit with them over the past 12 to 18 months, but they are really focused on monetizing names through fractionalization of the domain, which occurs in the real world with art and other physical assets as well, where you can have multiple owners and split ownership. So they're doing the same thing with domain names. They're focusing on that, and again, looking at their uh, the information they provide online and their technical documents. There's a registrar integration piece that needs to be done
Yeah.
to manage the lifecycle of the Web3 digital identity and make sure everything is in sync and stuff like that. So very different from how we designed our solution. But again, and we can't stress this enough, it's important that these solutions are trying things and come to market so that we can all land in a good place moving forward. Right.
Yeah. They're tapping into something very different than us. They're creating a new kind of market called DomainFi,
Right.
very similar to DeFi that we see, the decentralized finance. It's domain finance where you can, monetize your domain, fractionalize your domain, like you were saying, and you can own a piece of a domain in a way that, previously we haven't been able to do. Maybe not in the way that blockchains allow, where it's a bit more secure and immutable, and maybe a little bit more safe than a handshake deal between two people. Trying to own a domain name online. This is a little bit different, and I think it opens the doors for investors.
Yeah.
But there is still a learning curve as they get their name onto their blockchain and figure out how to just take all those steps. It was a little intimidating for me, but I think once you get through that, investors might have a good deal going.
Yeah. It might be something, again, it's, they're playing in a different sandbox
Yeah.
than our focus for sure. We're
Yeah.
more generalized, and our white label solution is certainly more focused on, all TLDs for, multi-chain interoperability, not just, the finance piece of a domain name.
Yeah.
So we'll see where all this goes. Like I said, I'm excited of where we're at. I'm excited that there's ICANN discussions and new solutions are coming to market. People are investing time and resources into this because, as we know, Web3 isn't going anywhere.
No.
Blockchain isn't going anywhere. So, as we move forward and if we can create bridges into this and at the end of the day, create a better experience for users,
Yeah.
give them more utility. We've always said, like, users, they don't know how email works. They don't even know how IP addresses, what an IP address is and how domains kind of work. They just get on and they transact.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is another part of the internet where they don't have to understand block height and they don't have to understand all the different pieces of blockchain and how it works. They just want to be able to go on, and if they want to, buy some crypto, or if they want to, you know, play a Web3 game, or there's Web3 ticketing, or if health records come online and they want to access them
Right.
by connecting their wallet, they just want to be able to do it in a seamless way and something that feels seamless from a Web 2 to Web 3 kind of way. They don't even have to understand the difference between what's Web 2 and Web 3. They just want to be able to use their identity and access and transact online. So
Exactly.
hopefully we'll get there, but it takes time. Whenever
It
new
does.
technology is introduced, it always takes time. This is nothing new. This is, we're kind of just repeating some, things in the past, even when domains came to market, when digital certificates came to market, and, credit cards
Credit
and
cards,
stuff.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
talk about the same things, but, it all kind of evolves and happens, and it's all part of the process. But we're excited to be part of the process, to be involved in it. We're excited about where we're at with .locker and minting as a service, and our DARE as well, right? Our
Yes.
digital asset reward engine, where we give away Bitcoin.
Giving away Bitcoin.
Yeah, we're good, and I know that. I think today, which is February the 17th.
Today, when we're recording, it's the 17th, so it is the official start of the Lunar New Year.
Right.
And it is also the official start of our Lunar New Year promotion for .locker. So you can still enroll if you are a registrar. We are offering .locker for $8.88 retail. So if this interests you as a registrar, just reach out to any of us and we will get you going.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of data to share yet. Of course, we'll see how this promotion goes and see what our conversions to Web3 is, because at the end of the day, that's kind of our goal, is to get users kind of exposed to the Web3 world as well.
Yeah, we're trying new things and seeing what happens. So we'll see how this one performs.
Excellent. Thank you, Bailey.
And then the next thing on our docket, you mentioned it before, is ICANN Mumbai. We are still making plans around that. It's a little bit a far trip for us and all of us in North America, but we'll keep you guys updated on our plans there.
Right.
And that's pretty much all we have for today. If there are any solutions that people are wondering about or any questions you have, definitely send them our way, and we'll get them on the list and we'll cover them for you. So that's it for today. Thank you for hanging out with us. If you want to find us online, you can find us as Orange Domains on LinkedIn, and on X and Discord as .locker. Bye guys. Thank you.
Bye.